Good morning, everybody. Thank you again on behalf of the Secretariat for coming out. I'm very glad to see a good turnout for day two. Again, I'm going to talk quickly with Christina, my colleague, about some of the activities we're doing at CBD, including the Global Partnership. There's a lot of slides. I'm going to go through these quickly. The slides will be made available, so forgive me for going through these quickly. In the interest of time, we'll make sure this is done fairly quickly. So first of all, the Global Partnership. A lot of you have been hearing about this. We have a large number of members, and really this is a network of networks. This is the idea that we're trying to bring, Gerard had put it very succinctly a few days ago, we're trying to bring different people into the room who wouldn't normally be in the room together, and making sure they're talking. So we're doing this at the national level, and at the regional level, and then globally. And really the idea is to tie these groups together. So you can see from the map we've got a lot of members, a lot more coming in on stream. But one of the most important things is we're now trying to decide and trying to work out together. We've got this partnership which is growing. How do we actually make it as effective as possible to make sure we maximize the utility of this? And I think this is something that we're going to call on all the members, but all people here to really help us do this. So this is just another slide showing some of the initiatives that currently exist. What's very important as well is we have a lot of partner organizations who are observers and who at the national and regional level are also members. And IUCN, of course, BirdLife, WBCSD, and many others who contribute their expertise. So the partnership is not so much trying to design something new, we're building on what's already there and making sure it is expressed to the various national initiatives who are all doing very good work with their companies. And again, we're going to be working on new methodologies over the next year or so to make sure this is done much more effectively. Just very quickly, I want to just sort of bring this home about what we're trying to do. In the countries and the regions, there are the governments, the businesses, the associations, the NGOs, and again, there's a lot of silos. All of you are aware of this. What we see with the initiatives, the regional initiatives, are that these come together and they actually begin to dialogue. And we've seen great successes in a number of countries where these initiatives are actually beginning to get common projects going and reaching out to a lot of businesses. The idea now is to tie these together into the global partnership and make sure that this again is more effectively communicated. So this is the global partnership. Finland is a member, the EU is a member. We have members throughout all regions and we are expecting to expand. But again, the idea is not just expanding it, but also making sure it's more effective as we go forward. And this is just some of the results. We do have, in terms of future directions, we've got structure and membership, and we are moving forward on what we're going to do. So again, I'll leave that slide for people to see that. I want to quickly talk about just a few of the meetings we've been engaged with recently, because again, one of the things that's important with this meeting is this is not just a standalone meeting. This has to be part of a larger dialogue. This builds on the conversations we had at COP12 at the Business Forum there in Pyeongchang. It builds again on conversations we had at the IUCN World Parks Congress last year. We recently had a number of regional meetings. One of particular note was the Pan-African Congress, where we actually saw a great deal of collaboration in terms of people bringing together ideas to help build collaborative platforms in Africa, which again will be part of the global partnership. We, of course, have the World Forum on Natural Capital, which I believe many people will be going to in Edinburgh. Again, this is looking at natural capital. This, again, is going to help build on the discussions we've been having here. We're going to be having a meeting in ASEAN, again, a regional meeting, looking at building on these collaborative issues. We also have the Rio Conventions Pavilion, which actually tries to integrate the biodiversity message into the other conventions as well. And this is, we often have business events there. And of course, as Gerard mentioned, the IUCN World Congress next year and the COP13. And both of these, again, the conversation, we want to make sure the conversation moves forward from that. And again, COP13, this will be held in Mexico. There are a number of themes and a number of events that are planned. Business Forum is planned. And again, this will be a space to allow the businesses to actually engage in the process to some degree. And we want to make sure that the conversation that happens here, that will happen at the Natural Capital Forum, that happens at the IUCN Congress, continues into that space as well. So these are logical conferences. We're not just coming out to just repeat ourselves and say hello. It's nice to travel, but it's better to actually get information. So just a few words on some of the activities, and I'm going to turn it over to my colleague Christina to also comment on some of this. We have a number of mandated activities from the COP, because we are creatures of the parties, on what we're doing. And this is ongoing analysis and dissemination of information. We have a website. www.cbd.inc/business, where we have case studies, tools which we're updating, and a lot of information, a lot of databases on various projects which we're undertaking. We're doing enhanced outreach to business. We're trying to make the business case, trying to build capacity in different countries, and really trying to make sure this ties in with national workshops, trying to make sure that we are building these collaborative platforms, integrating them in, but making sure the business case reaches as wide an audience as possible, working in collaboration with our partners. Green procurement and procurement policies, we want to make sure we are working with our partners again to encourage procurement policies wherever possible. The natural capital work, we're not trying to replicate any of the work there, but we are following very closely the work of the Europeans, the work of a coalition, and other jobs, so we can again report this to the parties and inform the parties what's going on, transmit what parties are concerned with, and make sure that dialogue is occurring. That's our role. Some newly mandated activities, just quickly say reporting commodities, we'll go into that in a minute. We're also looking at making the business case for the biodiversity targets, and we're working in other forums. Now very quickly, we also said we were going to do a quick briefing on these two main projects. Reporting, what we are looking at doing is actually examining the current reporting schemes that are out there, reviewing them, and trying to explain to parties what is the state of corporate reporting and how can it be improved. And we're also been asked by the parties to create an initial typology of actions. Right now, from the point of view of the parties, there is not much included in the national reports on corporate reporting. We need to clarify the situation, explain what is out there, and help them to find out how this can be improved. We're working with a number of partners on this, from both the Global Partnership and global partners. And the draft of the report will be made available more widely soon, and we will be presenting this to our subsidiary body in the late spring. Christine, I'll turn it over to you for the commodities work, please.